Shalom lekulam. Today on Hebrew Book Review, I am going to talk about a bilingual children's book called Animals in Hebrew, A Day at the Zoo by Sarah Mazor. Welcome back to Hebrew Book Review. Today I am reviewing Animals in Hebrew, A Day at the Zoo by Sarah Mazor with illustrations by Benny Radiana. I can't quite remember where I purchased this book, but it can be purchased at mazorbooks.com, where you can find all kinds of books about Hebrew, as well as books about Judaism and positive values for children. This book is all about learning the Hebrew words for some basic animals that we see at the zoo, and it's intended for English-speaking children. It is 1% religious. There is one boy wearing a kippah, but other boys are not wearing kippot, and there are girls in shorts. So I think secular families will be fine with this book. The Hebrew font is Times Roman, and it's a little bit larger than normal, so very easy for young eyes to read. There is no cursive, and it is written in Ktiv Chaser, so the traditional spelling. Before using this book, it'll be helpful if the students know their letters and nikud, and that way they can try to sound out the words on their own without looking at the transliteration. But if they don't, they can still learn how to pronounce the names of the animals because there is a transliteration on every single page. This book tells a story about a family that goes to the zoo, and then they learn about the animals and also learn the Hebrew name for each animal. And it tells the story in rhymes, which is always great for the little ones. So the story is fun, and the illustrations are really bright and colorful and really well suited for a children's book. And so Sarah's books are different from the rest in a couple of ways. One is that she always includes the new words in a story, and that just makes it a story that's in the child's native language. So it's not a ton of difficult words that the kids are trying to get through. They're reading along in English and then boom, they get one word in Hebrew, and that makes it a lot more accessible. And also the transliteration is right there on the page. So the students don't have to go and look in the back of the book or try to remember if they're not so strong in their Hebrew reading. They can still just look at the transliteration and the book still continues to flow. Each animal name has one or two transliterations. And so here we see on the tiger page, it says namer, but then she gives a second transliteration to make it a little bit clearer. But the page for elephant, pil, does not have two transliterations. It just has the one. She also provides a transliteration guide at the beginning of the book in case the parent also doesn't speak Hebrew. That way there will be no confusion as to how to pronounce the letters. And she also provides a few tables in the back of the book that show the feminine form of the animal, if there is a masculine and a feminine, which most of them do have, and also the plural. And then also there's another one that shows just a couple of different words that might be useful for a trip to the zoo. And each of these tables has the word in English, the word in Hebrew, and then also the transliteration. So I love this book. My son and I had a great time reading it and learning the different words for the animals. He really enjoyed that. What kid doesn't love animals? Um, my only complaints are very technical. One of them is the transliteration for the word giraffe is has a G, and it's pronounced giraffe. And so my humble opinion is it should be transliterated with a J. Otherwise, it might be confused and somebody might think it's pronounced giraffe, which it's not. And I think she does this because, of course, giraffe is spelled with a G in English and it's a soft G. But when you're providing a pronunciation guide, you should have um, as little ambiguity as possible. And G having two sounds, that is ambiguous, whereas a J only has one sound. So it would not be ambiguous if she transliterated with a J. And this is especially confusing because since there's no J sound in Hebrew, they use a gimel and then put a geresh whenever they're trying to indicate the J sound, for instance, in a foreign word like giraffe. And so anybody who maybe knows a little bit of Hebrew might see that gimel. They might not know what the geresh is there for, and so they might say, "Oh, well, it's a gimel." And it also is being transliterated with a G, so it must be giraffe. And so that's why, especially with giraffe, they should use a J. So, and also, I don't understand why she uses two transliterations. The whole purpose of transliteration is to show somebody who is not familiar with a particular alphabet how something is pronounced. So if the um, so for example, in Namer, if Namer, she clearly doesn't think that that is clear enough because that's why she included Nahmer. Well, if Namer is not clear enough, then why include it at all? Why not just transliterate it the whole time? Nahmer. And on the subject of transliteration, there's also no indication of where the stress falls on a word. And again, that's really common in Hebrew. It's very uncommon for anybody to actually show the stress of a word. Although nowadays, in on websites, they are indicating them more either with a different colored letter or with a bold letter. But traditionally, transliterations did not include any kind of indication where the stress lies in the word. These are really small technical issues, and they don't really detract from the enjoyment and the learning that we get from the book. So that's it for today. I really strongly recommend Animals in Hebrew, A Day at the Zoo for parents who have young children who just enjoy story time and want to learn a couple of words in Hebrew. It's a really fun story, and it's a great way for them to learn just a little bit of vocabulary. So if you have any questions or feedback, please leave it in the comments and I will do my best to respond. Also, if you have some book that you'd like me to review, leave that in the comments and I will do my best to get to it and make a video. Hit like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe and press the notification bell if you want to see more. Sunday, I will be uploading a new Hebrew vocab help video, and Tuesday will be a new video on grammar. Or you can just wait for next week's book review video, which will be on Modern Hebrew, a series put out by Rosen School of Hebrew. Lehitraot, papa'am hapa'a. See you next time.